connection. This is a good start. Wonderful Saturday early. There we go. I think that's better. All right, cool. Looks like we are live. Awesome. First, hey, I thought you were at work, Andrew. Great to see you there. I guess it's lunchtime. I hope things are going well. Glad you guys haven't called yet. Hey, Tony. It's always a pleasure to have you here. I know what time it is. So, all right, cool. Looks like the connection's holding this time. I don't know. It always starts off as a weak connection and then reconnect and off it goes. So, excellent. I know I'm a little bit early. Hey, Leo. Good to see you. Things are going well here. I had off yesterday, and I think I spent most of the day just sleeping, napping, and just hanging around. Just kind of, hey, Golden Steel, gathering my energy a little bit. So that definitely helped. Robert, nice to see you. So, yeah, cool. Things are coming together. Excellent. I know I'm a little bit early, but like I said, I didn't know how things were gonna go. This is only the second time that I'm using the cell phone to go live. The first time worked out great. The only thing is the comments disappear very quickly, so gotta pay attention to that a little bit more. So, but other than that, it seems to be working out pretty darn well. So how is everybody? Hope you're doing good. I don't know if we want to wait the couple of more minutes uh, till we hit 1 o'clock, but you know exactly why I was worn out. Going 8 days straight, it'll do it to you. So, yeah, as you might have seen in the picture, we're going to be using a vintage soap today. Some Colgate, compliments of Brad, and he had made the comment that he would like to see it in this live chef. So go figure, why not? And this is what it looks like. It's unused. Colgate Palmolive cup soap, and the scent is kind of a pleasant, soapy kind of scent. Williams is more citrusy. This is more, I don't know, generic soapy. And just to take Brad off, if he ever decides to join, we're gonna be putting it in this. plop, plop it in there, and I'm just gonna soak it for a few minutes while we get ready with everything else, just to kind of give it a little bit better chance to lather up. I've never used this soap, like I said. I don't know what I'm getting myself into here. And yay, on a live too. So, yeah, no. Razor for today. Got this in the mail yesterday, cleaned it up, and it cleaned up beautifully. It is a Gillette new short comb. And I know I'm using the front facing camera, so it's probably not gonna zoom in properly. It never really does. Steve, glad you could make it. Fantastic. I know you're on your way out the door for lunch, so glad you could stop by. Like I said, this is the short comb version. And just to give you a quick comparison, this is the long comb. If you can see where it's, like I said, I know it's not zooming, but where this is hanging down and this isn't. So the head geometry is just ever so slightly different there too. I believe the blade angle, or the way that blade gets held up in there is just a little bit different. So looking forward to using this. Yeah, I know you got a long comb, Steve. It's beautiful. And this is the short comb. I finally found one for a reasonable price. And very happy to have it. So now, just for you guys, what blade should I use? I have two. It's supposed to be a little bit more aggressive, yes. Just ever so slightly. But we'll see. Now I've got two as a choice here, the Vintage Super Blue and the Dorco Titan. So whatever you guys want to see on this one, just let me know real quick. Because I was kind of torn on that one. Just kind of do I want to do another try on the Titan, the Super Blue. We got one for Super Blue right now. Hey Tom, glad you could join. Fantastic. I know it was a little bit early, so Super Blue, okay. We got two for Super Blue. Let me just unscrew that. And Vintage Super Blue. And the inside, like I said, the coating on this one is almost off on the top cap. It's getting that nice coppery color. Tony is Super Blue. Okay, all right, decision is made. And the inside is nice too, Super Blue. All right. So we're popping in the Super Blue. And this one is, you've seen it on the other shaves. Gotta see. Yeah, this is an L4. Yeah, I'm not one to, if it's got great plating, I'd like to keep it, but if it's already, more or less worn off, you might as well take it down to bare metal and then just polish it up naturally a little bit. I'm not one to freak out about things like that. And Lordy, I wish this would zoom in a little bit better, but this has got quite a gap. So this could be an interesting shave. All right. Looks like the blade alignment went well. I mean, right off the get-go, didn't have to shuffle anything around. So, woohoo! And this is the same handle as some of the Techs have, the ball end Tech handle, which has that nice heft. I mean, this razor's got some weight to it. Yes, it's the first time for this razor. I just got it yesterday and cleaned it up, and I just wanted to use it for the live. So I had to hold out after cleaning it. I wanted to shave. So, all right. Well, the mug soap should be soaking long enough now. Long comb base blade. I'll definitely have a look out for it. Okay. So you can replace yours. Then you can use both sides again. I'll check into it. The long combs are fairly easy to find around here on eBay. And good one, Tony. Yeah, the toothbrush lathering technique with the big smile. Excellent comeback on that one, Steve. I gotta give it to you. Well, I've got it soaking in there, and unfortunately I can't really show you without pouring it out, but hold on. Alright, just make it dry, and it's already starting to soften up a little bit on the surface. Just get some water, just a little bit of water on the face. Tom, I knew you'd recognize it. And the reason I'm using that mug is the person, Canadian, exactly, Tim Hortons. For those of you who don't know, Tim Hortons is probably the biggest coffee dealer for coffee addicts and donut shop in Canada. You know, it's like if you're going to Canada, you gotta stop at a Tim Hortons. I believe most Canadians do not have a coffee maker anymore because if you see the lineups at Tim Hortons, um, they can't have a coffee maker. You know, I mean, there's you know within a mile stretch, there's three Tim Hortons and all have a full lineup uh, on the drive-through to get coffee. So now, Brad Melling, he asked me to if I could use the Colgate soap because he sent it to me too, and there's a little thing going on here with the Tim Hortons, so that's why. Yeah, to get back to the subject, great comeback on that one, Steve. That was extremely funny. So, all right, we got the razor, we got the soap. Now we're going into the brush, and just to kind of show you guys again, it's this packaging. Just kind of, it does have the barcode already on it, so it's from the late 70s, I take it. And the soap is somewhat non-descriptive. It's just soapy. Pleasant though. All right. Which brush should I take? I have the Pro 48 in Boar. I have the Mer Shaving in Finest Badger, and I have the Horse in the Vintage German Handle. All soaking. Yes, Colgate Palmolive. It actually says it on there somewhere. Right down here, if you have a look, Colgate. I don't know if it'll zoom, like I said. Colgate Palmolive. And by the way, they also own the Menin brand. Menin Skin Bracer is also Colgate Palmolive. So, what brush should I take? Vintage Grey Dog brush. Okay, Omega. Okay, all right. Yeah, I was the horsehair one. That's the floppy one. So, cherry bomb. Okay, I got all three now. Come on, guys. Yeah, Palmolive is still part of Colgate today. They're still joint, and that's what kind of ticks me off a little bit. Colgate Palmolive is an American company. You can get Colgate. Hey, Todd. You can get Colgate all day long. You know, it's like the care products and all that kind of stuff. Um, why do they not sell the Palmolive shave stick here in the U.S.? Even if it would cost $1.50 or maybe $1.75, you know, it's still going to be cheaper than getting it off the internet with humongous shipping costs. I mean, I know in Europe, in England, it's 50p. In Germany, it's 85 cents for a stick, and I mean, you know, fantastic stuff. So I don't know what the deal is there. So we have to resort to vintage. Alrighty. So what's it gonna be, guys? Brush, come on. I had all of them now, so I can't use all of them. I only can use one. I know Manny did a 3-brush shave one time, but I'm not getting into that. So question? Yes? Go ahead, Todd. I'm just waiting for some answers from you guys. What brushes? Yes, I did soak that puck. I emptied out the mug just a minute before you came, so it was soaking for about 5 minutes. Good enough. The top part is getting soft already. So vintage Grey Dog. All right. Shaking that out. Dipping the tips ever so slightly so I have a little bit of moisture in there. And so we're going to use the Grey Dog horsehair, natural colored and brown in a vintage German handle, which Grey Dog graciously gifted to me. Let's go in there. So, and I have no clue how this is going to go. So Floppity flop flop. Exactly. You guys pick the soap that's going to be give me the hardest time on this one. Soap, the brush. I know, Tony. I know. The other guys just want to see me suffer. Oh, TD can't make it today? Oh, okay, that's a shame. That's what I'm doing. Working, working, working. So I apologize. Apparently I didn't put my phone on silent and somebody's texting me. Alright. That's not looking too bad in there. Just trying to scoop out as much as I can. Alright. That's not too bad. Let's get that water on the face again because it already dried off. Seriously? A wedding at a brewery, that's where he's at. Wow. Okay, I don't blame him for not showing up. Let's get going here. Vintage Colgate. Cup soap is what they call it. Hold on a second, I'm gonna see if I can. Alright, turn it on silent. Sorry about that. Ooh, this is getting a bit dry. Just get the other brushes out of my mug. Get some water on there. This is actually not too bad. Coming up nicely. Floppity flop flop. And the scent is almost non-present. Yeah, it is picking up well. I'm pleasantly surprised here. I thought I was going to have a little ordeal. Should see how it stays on the face. That is the original scent. Just a sort, yeah, it's a simple soap smell. You know, nothing fancy about it. Almost smells like hand soap. You know, the very generic hand soap type deal, where Williams has that lemony scent, that artificial lemony scent a little bit. This has just, you know, basic soap scent smell. Ivory soap kind of comes to mind a little bit. All right, that's not looking too bad. Staying too. All right. Let's get going before it falls apart. All right. Does have a little bit more blade feel. soap is actually doing very well. It's got good slickness. Yeah, the razor itself and the blade, it's fairly smooth. I mean the the blue blade, the super blue, uh, is a carbon blade, so you know there's a little bit more resistance usually on that. Todd and I had discussed that the other day. Yeah, I mean, it's a good blade. Just for those of you who don't know, it's these here. It's vintage, super blues, and this I think is the third use. I know you were gonna ask, Steve. I might, I might use a Chevette. Uh, I'm not the most skilled at it. It's doing its job. I'm not the most skilled at it, and there's really no drive for me to use a Chevette. Hey, Kevy. Yes, I am using a Gillette new short comb. Got that in the mail yesterday, cleaned it up, and was dying to try it. Glad you could make it, Kevy. What's going on in your neck of the woods? Hold on, if Kevy's here, does that mean I gotta end the shave? Hey, Brad. It's dark. Okay. What time is it in Britain? Or in Scotland? In your case, I think 6 o'clock, right? Brad, I'm glad you could make it. Just to let you know, this is for Brad. Colgate. The Grey Dog Vintage Horse. And the Gillette new short comb with a vintage super blue. Actually, that wasn't a bad first pass. I really gotta say, this soap is slick. To be quite honest, if you know, if I wanted to push it, I could shave with this. Just what's left on the face. That is some awesome slickness. That's right, Steve. Give him a hard time. So the lather was still holding up nicely. I don't know if you can see this. Whoops. This is pretty good stuff, gotta say. For it being about as old as I am. Ironing to do. Okay, that's what you call it nowadays. 102-year-old shaving powder? Where was that, Todd? Come on. Where'd that happen? Let's see. This lather is fantastic. Thank you, Brad, for that soap. This is turning out pretty darn well. Just admiring the lather a little bit. So yeah. What are you guys up to? I know where Steve's going. I found a tin of 1909 to 1914 Williams shaving powder. Did you put a video up? Because that I gotta see. You can iron, but you can't build a wall. Hey, some of that wall is still standing. Yeah, I know you got 20 seconds of recording time. But, I'd love to see that. Okay, so I gotta check out the Instagram feed then, I guess, Todd. As you can see, guys, there's plenty of rest slickness on the face here. I can maneuver about. Oh, okay. Yeah, that'd be fantastic. I'd love to see that old. As you can see, it's getting a little on the thinner side. It's starting to dissipate ever so slightly. Brad, that razor is working out very well. It's got more blade feel than the long comb. I think it is just a tad more aggressive, but it's definitely got more blade feel. Yeah, Halloween shaves, guys. What are people doing for Halloween shaves? Since I'm not huge on Halloween. The Colgate, no, I can't find it in the store. This was compliments of Brad, who sent it to me quite a while ago, and I've been saving it since it's getting really difficult to get a hold of. It does sometimes still pop up. It's basically like Old Spice, vintage Old Spice soap. Every now and then you can get it, and typically it's at a somewhat ridiculous price point. Hallows and Gillette Psycho Tech Razor. Oh wow, yeah, that looks like it. Sounds like a great shave. You'll be taking your mask off for Halloween. Good one, Steve. Yeah, the Hallows. There's a few other artisans that came out with some Halloween soaps. Very nice. It was a really comfortable shave. Steve, I think this the short comb might also be one if you can get your hands on it. It's got a little bit more blade feel, and it's just a little bit more efficient, I think, than the long comb. I'll probably be using that short comb for the rest of the week, just kind of running a couple of blades through it, just to kind of gauge it a little bit better. Because using a vintage blade is typically not what I like to do to get a baseline. To say, hey, this is an aggressive razor or whatever. And those things are subjective. I mean, everybody gauges that a little different. Hey Gary, good to see you. The vintage Matador, yes, Brad. But they're even more rare than vintage Makua or something like that. Right now, the one I've still got on my wish list is a vintage Rotbart Mond Extra, which I'd like to get my hands on. And I've been looking on eBay Germany. They're available, but they're going for more than I care to pay for. So I'm waiting on that odd one that finishes at a really weird time of day in the middle of the night when nobody's watching. So, all right, thank you. Thanks for popping by, Steve. You guys have a great lunch, dinner. Yeah. Thank you. Time difference gets me every time. So yeah. Very nice. Thanks, Steve. You too. Have a good one. And like I said, thank you for stopping by. Tell you what, this is almost done. As you can see, the lather is still holding up fairly nicely. It was starting to dissipate a little bit. All right. Excellent wrist slickness, by the way. Hold on. I'll recap here in a second, Gary. But it's a vintage Colgate. Hold on. Just need to get that corner there. Okay. That puck, it's about the size of a Haslinger. Yes, you are correct, Kevy. It's really small. I was actually surprised because it's actually smaller than the. Whoops! Oh, there goes another hair. That was off the stash. All right, let me just wash off real quick. There was a good amount of slickness left on that. Still is. All right, let's do the recap real quick. Because Brad had said don't use witch hazel. All right, I gotta feel the burn of the aftershave. He's sadistic in that way. The Colgate shaving mug soap, vintage, since it has a barcode saying mid to late 70s, in a Tim Hortons mug. There it is. It's fairly small. Like I said, it's about the size of Haslinger. And smaller than the Williams mug soap. So, as far as diameter goes, but it's a little thicker. Brush was the Grey Dog horsehair in the vintage German handle. Worked out really well. I was surprised. I thought I was going to have some issues with it, but the soap lathered up good enough. Razor, a Gillette new short comb on a, and this is the small ball end handle, the heavy one. I'm really liking the heft of this razor. Yeah, it's a vintage German one. I wish I knew what it was. Grey Dog sent it to me like that, reknotted. Okay. So there was something with the box. It used to be completely red. Sorry. Here we go. Blade, a Gillette Super Blue. Also vintage. This is L4. And that was its third use. And I'd say it's probably got another shave in it. Easy. So just put that back together so it doesn't flop around here. Alright, we've dried off. No witch hazel today due to wishes. And if we're going vintage, let's use the vintage Old Spice. Shulton. This is from the 90s. Great stuff. Gotta be careful with it. Yeah, Brad, you got the message. Vintage soap pucks fit into Tim Hortons in-store coffee mugs. Now you gotta watch the doors, Brad. Oh, great stink. Shulton is nice. The original formulation. I mean, don't get me wrong. The modern version is okay too, but there's just something different. There's something nice about the vintage stuff. So, smelling good, feeling good. Face feels good. There was almost no burn. There's a little bit of a weeper there, but I just got a little bit of a tingle here and a little bit of tingle there, and that was it. So, fantastic stuff, yeah. Let's put that back up there. Yes, and I need to make myself a new fresh cup of coffee. But unfortunately, it's not going to be Tim Hortons. And there is a difference. Tim Hortons coffee has a very, very distinct taste. And it's extremely good. I love it. This mug will, after I wash off the soap and everything, it'll go in the dishwasher and then I can drink coffee out of it again. After all, it is just soap. So, Kevy, what was that? The comment disappeared. I wasn't quick enough. Babbling too much. So, yeah. Haven't gotten around to getting any vintage Old Spice splash. Oh, okay. Tom Delaney makes it frothy. Recently, my dad told me my grandfather used the safety razor back when everybody used safety razors when I showed him pictures of DE razors. Well, normally it's it. I mean, that's basically all you got back then. It wasn't a safety razor, it was just a razor. Coffee foam. Yeah, the Herbie movies from the 60s. You know that beetle with its own little personality there. There was one scene, and I've quoted that on a couple of videos on that one. The Love Bug, right? Herbie the Love Bug, with that 53 on the side. And there's a scene where they're sitting in the garage with the mechanic, and they're having Irish coffee, and they're making, like, you know, with the whipped cream there. Exactly. Tony, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That's probably what it'll look like if I get some foam in here. Some of the lather. I'm not a big fan of cream. What do they call it? Crema or something like that they have on top. I'm not into that. Give me a plain old good cup of coffee, and I'm happy. Very simple that way. 63.50. I don't know. I don't remember the number. It's been a while since I've seen those movies. Yeah, I'm surprised too that there isn't an artisan that has nailed that Schulten scent. I gotta say the Sterling that I have, the Sterling Spice, comes close, but there's something in there, and the thing is, um, one thing you have to remember with the vintage Schulten. Hey, old farm show, glad you could pop in. We're almost done. I'm sorry. Um, we're getting into the chatty part. The shave is done, so now vintage Schulten. Depending on how old it is, it'll change its scent. And to be quite honest, I'm not 100% sure what we see as vintage Schulten right now, when it was originally brought out, smelled the same as this did now. I mean, it has aged, it has cured some and matured, and I mean, we're talking oils here. There might have been a shift in scent just ever so slightly. So, we're going off of something that's 30, 40 years old and might smell ever so slightly different than it did when it came out. Now, that there is a difference between the modern and even the new uh, vintage Old Spice back in the day, let's say 20 years ago or 30 years ago, that there's a little difference, yes. Definitely does not have the staying power anymore. Um, okay, so the 46 smells like the 64. So there is, it's like if you got a well kept sample of vintage Schulten Old Spice, you know. But I'm just saying, everybody, depending on where you get your batch from, how it was kept. If it was sitting, in the on the counter in a hot bathroom somewhere, it might have changed the scent a little bit more. So it's probably going to be difficult to somewhat sort it out. Things get better with age. I'm not going to repeat that last one. So yeah, man, this is a fantastic shave. I'm thrilled to bits. This soap performed great. Like I said, it's still in there and whipped up a fantastic lather, and gonna clean it off, dry it, and then put it back in the packaging. Yeah, the Indian ones, I haven't used those yet, so I don't know how close they come. Um, right. Uh, Make it the same scent as the vintage splash. I agree. Indian made Old Spice smells closer. Okay, so that's fantastic. All right, I might have to get me some. Now I've seen the cream. I think Ken Surfs had it, and I'm not sure if Manny had used it one time on one of his shaves, but it seems to lather up fairly well, and everybody says the scent is kind of nice, even though it's somewhat mellow. Um, to be quite honest, if a soap is mellow, that's fine. You can pair it with a whole lot of other stuff. If you have a very, very strong scent, um, sometimes that can cause other problems, like irritation or something like that. If you have a very, very strong scented soap, that can cause more irritation. Those kind of deals. Plus, you have to basically use a very similar aftershave if it's a very strong scented soap. But something like this stuff, the Colgate, I can slap on just about anything. If I wanted to slap on some tobacco, I could have without any problems because it's very generic. So that's kind of nice to have something as versatile. Schulten stock has staying power. Okay, didn't know. Poured a whole bottle of new Old Spice down the drain. Well, you lost what? Probably $5 or something like that. $6. I don't know what it goes for right now. Uh, the the new stuff. They say the Family Dollar cheapo stuff is supposed to come close or closer to the original. But I don't mind it. It's okay. It's just that it doesn't have the staying power, and it's weaker in scent and a little bit different. But it's still a usable. If as long as I don't compare it to the original, it is what it is. If I take it as a separate entity, it's all right. Just a matter of getting your mind out of the vintage corner and saying, oh yeah, no, this doesn't compare, and it's crap. But it's all right for a daily. I don't blame anybody. $13 to $15 for the new stuff? Are you kidding me? Boy, they're ripping you off. Wow, that's incredible. I wouldn't pay that amount. I mean, for the $5-6 that I pay here, and if I go for the knockoff of the knockoffs, so to speak, from Family Dollar, uh, I mean that's like what, 250 or something like that, or $3, if that. Wow. Yeah, the modern UK European version does smell different to the US version. It does not. I don't think it has to do with the glass bottle. It's because it's actually a shift in scent. There's other notes that are US is with some notes, some of the scent notes up here, and the European version is down there, and then they just shifted it. The European comes across a little fresher. That's just my interpretation because I got it here. This is the German one that I have. Glass bottle. So yeah, up here in Canada, we're always being ripped off. $15. Are you joking, guys? Man, that's for Old Spice. I mean, Old Spice. That's kind of the good old standby, slap it on and go to work kind of deal. I mean, that's like the Volkswagen of aftershaves. I'm sorry, and then charging $15 for it. I mean, that's yeah. I can buy it for 6 here too. I mean, $5-6 depending on where you go and if they got a sale or something like that. Full Admiral's flask. Ooh, nice. Congrats. That's awesome. That's the good stuff right there. So yeah, no, I mean, it's Old Spice. The thing I like about it, yes, it smells great. Yes, it's inexpensive. I don't want to say cheap. It's just inexpensive, and it's your daily. Call it what you want. It's kind of your daily driver type aftershave. Like many other guys say, my dad smelled like it. Everybody just used it, and then charging exuberant prices for it. It's that's wrong. Sorry, that's just my opinion on that one. So yeah, not feeling dry. Very smooth shave. DFS plus, just ever so slight spot here, a little bit there where it just kind of swirls, and everything else is smooth. It does, surprisingly enough. The soap has a very nice face feel, and when I was washing it off, I mean, you could still feel the slickness on that stuff. So fantastic soap. Thank you, Brad. Thank you for sending that. This is absolutely fantastic. Thank you, Todd, for the blade. And Brad, I'm gonna start a trend here. These mugs fit vintage soaps. You're gonna have to install cameras. So no, this is fantastic. So yeah, we're 48 minutes in. Uh, any questions? Any suggestions? Anything we want to chat about? The razor performed fantastically. The short comb is a little more aggressive. I've got to try it with some different blades just to kind of gauge it properly because using a vintage blade kind of throws you off a little bit. But fantastic. I wonder what shavers will be lusting after in years to come from today's artisan soaps. The same thing they're lusting after already. I mean, you got the unicorn soaps, something like from what is that? B&M, some Awesome Town soap makers of Awesome Town. Those limited edition soaps, if you look and try and get one online, $80 or something like that, because somebody bought 3 or 4 pucks of that stuff. There's enough tallow in that soap to kill a horse. Of course, it's slick. You can tell it's fantastic. They're it lathered up great, and I understand why it was so popular. I don't understand why they took it off the market. Coffee time. Unfortunately, I don't have any coffee with me. I kind of Kind of forgot that. Sitting on the counter getting cold. So until I get it, screw it. So it wouldn't be Tim Hortons anyway. That'd be kind of a disappointment. Although the coffee I have right now, I can't complain. It's actually fairly good. It's an Ingles House brand for like $6 for a nice little pack. Very good stuff. Hawaiian blend or something like that. Good coffee. Yeah, but I don't go crazy on coffee. I don't use any French press kind of deal. I got my standard drip coffee maker, and already have high def cameras in all the stores. I can watch my mugs from home too. Yeah, you better start watching them. I'm gonna put that out there. That they work fairly well as a shave mug. So to all the Canadians, and I think Tim Hortons is also available in some of the northern states in the U.S. Um, the New England states and Pennsylvania. I know Ohio has some because I've driven through there and stopped at a few. So no, holy call, haven't tried it yet. Sorry, tallow and fluoride. Is there fluoride in there? I know it is in the toothpaste. Huh, interesting. There's no ingredients list on this. Wow. Can you imagine that nowadays? There's no ingredients on here. There's an instruction on how to lather it up, but there's no ingredients. Fascinating. The stuff you could get away with back in the day. Oh, ain't none on there. First store opened up last month in the UK. Tim Hortons in the UK? In Glasgow. Wow. Huh. Excellent. My vintage Colgate has the contents soap and moisture. To the point, right? Yeah, like I said, you try that nowadays. So Cincinnati also has Tim Hortons. Fantastic. It's starting to finally creep down to me. A calorie count for the soap. Yeah, probably due to the tallow in there. There's nothing worse than a non-fat soap, is there? So yeah, no. UK Glasgow has a Tim Hortons, and why the heck does South Carolina not have one? Somebody needs to talk to corporate. I need a Tim Hortons here in Greenville, South Carolina, ASAP. I'm getting deprived here. This is. Philippines has Tim Hortons. Seriously? Now I'm feeling that's an insult. I'm sitting stuck here in the southern states, and I'm not getting on my hands on Tim Hortons, Manila. See, oh wow, guys, you're crushing me here. You never drink coffee because okay. Um, I manage to drink about a gallon a day, probably close to it. On if it's a busy day, if it's a not so busy day, maybe half a gallon. But I definitely go through one full coffee mug with what is it, 12 cups or something like that, and then some. So, all right, you keep pointing it out. The UAE has Tim Hortons too. Uh, Somebody needs to talk to corporate ASAP. Kick some butt here. I need some in South Carolina. Chicago should actually have some. They're close enough up there. I had the Krispy Kreme. I love the donuts. Krispy Kreme donuts are great, absolutely fantastic. But the coffee sucks. I'm terribly sorry. The coffee really sucks. I know no Tim Hortons in Germany. They have started getting in some Dunkin' Donuts. So I've seen a few there. But it tastes different. The donuts taste different. friends of ours from Houston come up every year to fill a suitcase up with Tim Hortons coffee beans. Yes, my stepmom does the same thing. She's Canadian, and when they visit the parents, my grandparents up in Canada and all the family, they always come back with like the huge, large, industrial sized bags of beans and all sorts of Tim Hortons supplies to get through the year. And they stick it in the freezer in little portions. And when it comes to a Sunday and they want a Tim Hortons coffee, that's what they pull out. So that's how addictive that stuff is to anybody that's been in Canada. Brad, now you're hurting my feelings. It's also available in Ireland. Seriously? Good Lord. That's just wrong. I know, Brad, I know you got the inside twist there. You need to, make something happen here. You can get Krispy Kreme donuts in supermarkets here in the UK. Yeah, the packaged ones. No, I'm talking about when you're driving past a Krispy Kreme donut and all of a sudden the red sign comes on, says hot and fresh. That's when they're just starting a new batch on the fryer, and they're frying a new batch of donuts. And when you get it, I mean, it's fresh out of the fryer. It's hot, and it's still really soft, and it's just Homer Simpson drool. I mean, that's the kind of feeling you get from a really fresh Krispy Kreme. It does not compare in any kind of way to the ones in the packages. The ones in the packages are okay, but the fresh one you cannot compare that. That is crazy. When I was working in Charlotte, they went crazy for the red sign. Yes. I mean, seriously, if you're driving, it's 2 lanes and you've got a Krispy Kreme donut, on the other lane. That red sign comes on and people just kind of in front of you swerve. I mean, they slam the brakes, hit the thing so they can get in line. It's that kind of crazy. You got to really watch out when that red sign is on. People go nuts. I mean, their driving skills down here are somewhat to be desired anyway. Bad things about South Carolina. It was decided to never go there. Sorry, buddy. Well, get North Carolina close to the border. I'll be willing to drive. Asheville, North Carolina, or something like that. The close to the border. Hendersonville would be perfect. Georgia, I'd drive down to Georgia. Anything close. I'm not picky. I'm desperate. Can you tell? So, yeah, no, it's, I just miss Tim Hortons coffee. It's a childhood memory. I know I didn't drink coffee back in the day. I always got the hot chocolate, but my dad always got the coffee. Because, especially wintertime, getting up at some god awful time in the morning. I mean, we're talking way beyond sunlight. Getting in the car in the wintertime with my dad, driving up to, what is it, the Blue Mountain resort ski thingy, going skiing all day, and on the way there we passed the Tim Hortons right out of the subdivision. It was right there on the corner. My dad got his coffee fix. I got my hot chocolate and an apple fritter. So I was quiet, and then we went skiing. Blue Mountain. Yep. 12 glazed donuts and a glass of ice cold milk. Ooh, that doesn't sound bad either, I'll tell you that. So yeah, Blue Mountain, like I said, it's a childhood memory. And Tim Hortons, back then the apple fritters were a heck of a lot better than they are nowadays. I think they were still store made. Brad knows the story on that one. We already had a conversation about it. And bigger and better. I don't know what it was. They were fantastic. So like Brad had said, back then things were better. So yeah, it's like I said, Tim Hortons is installed. Canada did a great job on me on that one. So yeah, to kind of get back to the subject of shaving, Cincy, Thank you for the nomination, by the way. I got to think of how I'm gonna answer all those 7 sins of wet shaving questions, and I'll probably post up the video tomorrow if you don't mind. Just gives me a little bit of chance to get my head around it, and give some proper answers. So yeah, uh, yeah, and sorry for not answering quite right away. Like I said, I had off yesterday. I was not working, and I took 5 to 6 hour nap because I needed it. The face feel is still, it's not tight. Um, it's uh, it's fantastic. Sure, there's some uh, what do you want to call it? It's not as moisturizing as some of the artisan soaps, just because they have all that good skin food in it, all those goodies. Um, but it's called a 6 hour nap because it was on the couch. So no, the skin is not tight. The skin feels good. It's not as moisturized as with an artisan soap, but for a what I consider a standard store bought product off of a hard puck, it's extremely relaxed. It's called sleeping if it's in your bed. It's called a nap if you do it on the couch. Just the way it is. I don't know. Yeah, see, that's my problem. I don't sleep 6 hours every night either. That's kind of the deal. So when I have off, I just kind of I was watching some shave videos and just trying to get some rest. Giving my back a little bit of rest, laid down, and that was the mistake. And then just kind of lights out. And then I think is what Brad was messaging me, and the phone was going off. So that's what kind of woke me up. Otherwise, I probably would have slept even longer. You know. But the nice thing is, your body will tell you what it needs, and if it needs a nap, Tony, I apologize. I really do. I know you're awake right now, and you're supposed to be in bed. So we're past the hour mark. Tony, I'll let you get to bed now. I'm so thankful that you pop in. On every live I do and stuff like that. So and with the other guys, the same thing. It's fantastic. Thank you so much for your support there. It's uh, it's an honor, to be quite honest. It really is. I mean, every single one of you guys in Germany, in Canada, in the UK, in Scotland, and Tony. I mean, you're on the other side of the world, and like Kevy just said, you're a trooper there. So thank you. And yeah, I I think I'm gonna let you guys go. Thank you for staying with me for so long on your Saturday. Plenty of time for sleep once you're dead. Hey, I used to then yeah no guys, have a good one. I appreciate you popping in and love chatting with you guys. That's the biggest thing here on a Saturday when I have off, going on the live and chatting with you guys. So thank you guys. Thank you every single one of you for showing up. Have a good one. Have a great rest Saturday wherever you may be, and see you in 2 weeks. Next week I'm working Saturday again, so hopefully maybe Kevy we can poke him to get to do a live or something. Merry Christmas. You're a little early. Let's get Halloween behind us and then Thanksgiving. So have a good one. See ya. Bye.